They say iron sharpens iron, right? It's gonna, what doesn't kill you is only gonna make you stronger. And it seems like, I mean, you did all right, man. They tried to cancel you and take you off all the platforms, and I still see you everywhere to this
Yeah,
day on every
they
platform.
failed. Yeah, the cancellation certainly failed. I would like to believe, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think I'm one of the first people, if not the first, that it totally failed on. Because they came at me completely. They didn't come at me with some half lazy
Yeah.
cancellation. They deleted me from, it was full Alex Jones level, deleted me from every single application on my phone, froze my bank accounts, like completely tried to wreck me financially, lied about me in all the mainstream news, from CNN to Fox News to all the British tabloids, everywhere lying about me. They really went for me completely, and it didn't work. So that's kind of interesting for them to see their own weapon fail. I just don't know how they're going to handle that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, who have we seen canceled? Alex Jones, Milo Yiannopoulos. There's quite a few that I've seen, Trump, there's quite a few that I've seen deplatformed, but you somehow manage to continue to put out content and messages and get on I mean, like the podcasts that you've been on have been off the chart. I mean, I to this day, one of my favorite ones is the Your Mom's House podcast, and I told you this after you finished it. I think you have a knack for comedy, and it's probably one of the untapped tools that I think you're probably going to lean into a little bit more, because you're fucking hilarious, dude. Like, you're a funny guy.
Thanks, bro. And I do my best, to use it when it needs to be used to get the message across. But yeah, it's interesting you say that, because the people who've been canceled at my level, there's only 4 or 5 of them. I think I'm the 5th. And yeah, I'm the last one who's managed to stay all over the social networks. But the problem is that comes with its own issues, right? Because when the Matrix cancels you, it goes in 3 stages. First, they try and shut you up. If that fails, they try and put you in jail for something you didn't do. And if that fails, they kill you, right? So slowly we're moving on to stage 2. They've attempted already to raise some bullshit. Like in the height of the cancellation, when they were lying about me all over the news, they were calling up reporters, whoever these reporters are, managed to find details of my ex-girlfriends, and were calling up ex-girlfriends saying, do you have anything bad to say about Andrew Tate? We'll pay you £100,000 for a story, which is effectively a bribe, right? You're effectively bribing them £100,000 to say bad things about me, trying to raise, because their biggest problem with their cancellation is that I'm somehow dangerous to women, but there's not a single victim or a single woman who's come forward. In fact, every woman who's come forward is saying the opposite. There's a bunch of hot girls coming forward saying Tate's a nice guy. So they're like, oh shit, we need a victim here. So they were trying to buy victims, and that failed. Even my exes stuck by me, which actually surprised even me, because I think if you ask any man if they're to contact your last 20 exes, would they stick by you for $100,000? And most of the time it's no. So that failed. And now they're looking at new avenues. There's legal letters starting to come through for a bunch of garbage. So now they're going to try and get me in trouble with the law for things I haven't done, because I failed to be. It happened in Canada. You know this very well. They couldn't get the truckers to go home, so all of a sudden they're all getting in legal trouble, right? All of a sudden they're getting tax audited and this craziness and that craziness. It's what they do. They weaponize the law against you, and they're going to try that one next. So the Matrix,
what sort of legal strategies are they coming at you with?
So yeah, they're gonna. I started getting legal letters now for strange things, revisions of tax returns, which is fine. I'm completely legit there. Speeding bullshit, driving license infringements, car tax thing, like stupid, tiny, dumb shit is all starting to come through at once. Someone has looked at me or is looking at me in multiple countries and just trying to find anything they can nitpick at to send me a letter for, to get me in trouble for. And it's a message. It's a warning. It's a warning that everyone is guilty if we want them to be guilty. We've told you to be quiet. You're not being quiet, so you're going to have to pay the price. And I think that's their next attempt on me, is going to be a legal attempt. But the problem is all of this is a PR war. This is what most people don't understand about the world. It's all a PR spin. Even if you look at America start all the world's wars, right? But it's not because they're so good at waging war. Obviously, that's part of it. They don't start to lose. But it's also because they're very good at controlling the narrative and psyoping people into believing these wars are necessary. And that's what they do. When they canceled me, they really tried hard to convince the population that I'm dangerous and I deserve it. And that failed. But even if they were to get me in some kind of legal trouble, they're going to try again with the media machine. Andrew Tate, well-known misogynist, thief, whatever they're going to say. And they're going to try and convince the world of it. And I think that the problem they're starting to come up against is that people don't believe them when it comes to me, because everyone knows that what they did to me was unfair. And as soon as they say my name, they just think they're lying about him. That's bullshit. And that's the problem they're facing.
One of the things I find hilarious is the narrative that you're a misogynist, right? Because you'll see these street interviews. You've probably seen them as well, where guys will take your content and like read a line and be like, okay, well, this person said this, so what do you think of it? And then the girls will be like, oh yeah, I really like that kind of guy. So, and then they'll say, well, that's Andrew Tate. So what do you think? Oh no, he's a misogynist. And then he'll continue on and say, well, can you define a misogynist? And they can't. They're just like, no, I don't like him because the narrative, because of mainstream media, because the Matrix told me not to like him, sort of thing. So it's funny how people just sort of conform to what they're told to sort of like lean into, like Andrew Tate, bad man with cobra wrapped around his arm, bad man, right?
You know what? And what's crazy about it is this. What's crazy is these people who dislike me have a emotional response. It's not even a logical response. If you ask them about me, they go, no, I hate him. Hate is an emotion, right? They feel something. And what actually is quite interesting to me is that the Matrix itself is convincing people to have feelings, to have emotions for reasons they do not themselves understand. They can't explain what misogynist is. They can't say anything I've said. They don't know why they're supposed to dislike me, but they still have a strong emotional response. And this goes to show the power of the programming. If the Matrix can convince you to feel hate, which is a very visceral, very strong emotion for somebody, and you don't even know why, that shows how completely and utterly programmed you are. And most people are walking through the world programmable to this degree. And this is how you have the world's worst things, the worst things in history that have ever happening, because people are convinced to hate somebody or something or some group. They don't even truly know why. There's no logical reasoning, but the programming's been installed. And these people are slaves. They're slave-minded, because if they thought for themselves, they'd realize they have no reason to dislike me. And the whole misogynistic bullshit, because it is bullshit, it wasn't because of anything I said. It was purely because of the influence I had, because I was large and because I was a masculine man who said, don't take shit. They were just looking for an attack angle, and it was a weaponized virtue. I think they were trying to look for a reason to get rid of me. But it's completely clown world. It's insane.
Yeah. So anti-fragility, you're familiar with the concept?
Yep.
So you're very anti-fragile, environment like this. I know that you set yourself up to sort of be that way before the shit sort of hit the proverbial fan, where you have multiple passports, multiple driver's license, you're, diversified. You don't hold much in your name as far as real estate and stuff like that. Did that play a significant role when they came at you to take you down, to deplatform you? Like how robust was that system for you? Because it seems like it was pretty good.
Yeah,
from like
absolutely and completely. Yeah, absolutely and completely. So my system, obviously we're live on the internet, so I'll be careful what I say, but my system has been flawless, and that's because it's designed to be. And I've always understood to a degree that the Matrix is going to come for me and attack me. And I'm very thankful I was as paranoid as I was, because there's times where I put in a whole bunch of money, a bunch of time, a bunch of effort into organizing certain things, and people didn't truly understand why I did it. But anything that was remaining in my name in a Western country was destroyed. So I had any bank account in my name was frozen. Millions of dollars were seized. If I had any property in my name, I'm sure it would be trouble all around it. Any companies that were in my name are under investigation. So everything that is remaining, all the things that are remaining, are things that I protected specifically. And you protect things very simply. I'll make it very clear to the internet how you protect yourself against the Matrix. You do it in a few simple steps. The first step is to make sure you have as little as possible in your personal name. That's the first thing. They can be owned by entities or companies or people you trust completely, which of course is rare, or trusts. That's the first way. The second way you do it is you try and spread it across multiple jurisdictions, because even the police, they are still human, and there's still law that they must follow, even though I think they're criminals and they break as many laws as they can. They can break the laws of their own country relatively easily, the police, but they can't break the laws of foreign nations very easily. So let's say you had a LLC or a company in Canada, let's say Canada. Instead of owning that Canadian company, you should get a company in Singapore to own that Canadian company. And then that company in Singapore should be owned by a trust in the Cook Islands, which is then owned by an entity in Vanuatu off the coast of Australia. So now for them to get to the bottom of it, they have to talk to 5 or 6 different governments, some of which are very small, inept, lazy, slow to reply, backlogged, and it makes it extremely difficult for them to get to the bottom of anything. And this is why the rich do what they do. This is why they deal with all these weird South American countries and Panama Papers and all this kind of stuff, because by adding all those layers of jurisdiction, it becomes nearly impossible for one entity to penetrate. And the third thing you can do to make yourself anti-fragile, which I've done, is you need to penetrate the non-English speaking world. So in my example, if I were to go to any kind of payment processor, for example, they'd type my name in and Google me or Google anything to do with me and say, no, he's bad news. There's bad English speaking press about him. No. But if I were to get a payment processor that is primarily Chinese based out of Singapore, they don't care. Why would they care? I'm not in their sphere. They don't give a shit. So, or an Arab based, let's say here in the Arab world. So you have to also escape the English speaking world and find ways to get your things done in different jurisdictions as such. And that makes you anti-fragile. And that anti-fragility has worked perfectly for me. Like, they've yet to actually damage me. They think they have, but they've yet to actually damage me. I'll tell you a very funny story. In the height of the cancellation, they decided to do a Daily Mail piece on me, a huge hit piece. And the hit piece was that they looked up my name and they could see that I had a few outpaid, not paid parking bills and stuff. I had like $1,000 of unpaid debts of parking bills. And it was registered to my mother's old address where she used to live, which is obviously in a very poor area. And I had no credit cards, nothing. So they did this whole report on me, and they said the whole expose is that I'm not really a millionaire, right? And it was he owes money, and he's registered to this terrible address, and we can't find any assets in his name. He's a brokey. And they contacted my PR company before they released it for a statement. And my statement was, absolutely amazing detective work. I'm sure you understand that all rich people hold everything completely in their names. The Bugatti I'm driving is fake, and the private jets I'm on are fake. Please print this story. And when I replied that, they didn't even print the story because I think they realized that everyone's going to laugh at them. But they tried very hard to find out what I own and where it is, etc. And the only way you can protect it is to hide it. You shouldn't have to do these things, right? Yeah. But you do. This is what people don't understand. People call me paranoid. If you're just going to buy a house and keep it in your name and say, I own this house, you're going to learn very quickly you don't own a fucking thing when you annoy the government. You have to hide behind layers. It's unfortunate, but it's the game.
Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.